corporatocracy. I don't know. The point is, they're the emperors, of the world. Why do a few rich men have the power to control, everything else? And it's all because of this amount of control, this idea in your head that the more you have, the better your life will be. You know, I'm not American. I'm Canadian. Canadians are following the American way. The American way is essentially the American dream. You know, do you really want to achieve the American dream? Which, the American dream is to have the big house, you know, the big house, with the big yard, with the dock, with the white picket fence, that's the American dream. But do you really want to have the American dream when other people in the world are dying all the time? It doesn't make any sense, right? And to achieve the American dream is you have to pay through the nose to do, to even, to sorry, to even like understand like what you guys are doing. I mean, you just blindly do it just because of the rules. Like I said, I'm Canadian. I've recently like moved to France, and like I don't even know if anybody knows this, but in France, education is free. Which means people can just go in there and then have the education, and the things that they learn in school are mandatory. Now, this brings up another subject, and the reason why we, you know, sorry, as we as Americans, or the way I put it now is North American, um, is that this line, knowledge is power, right? And everyone's heard of that before, right? But it goes two ways. It really makes sense. Knowledge is power, but if you put it in one sense, is that if knowledge is power, then why is the education level in, let's say, the United States and in Canada considerably decreasing all the time, right? Makes you think, right? And the second thing, and if knowledge is power, the people that rule, that are the corporatocracy, I think I got it right, yeah. And those people, they have the knowledge of what's really going on and who has all the power. They do, right? So it makes a lot of sense. So knowledge is power is perfect. In France, I never went to school. I'm still learning how to speak, but they learn more than we do, and what they learn is mandatory. When it's mandatory, and if we want to learn more, we have the option to, to if we want to, learn more history or learn about other stuff, we have the option to, you know. But it doesn't make any sense because why do people have to pay through the nose to become doctors? If you ask people what they want to do for a living, they would say that they want to have a lot of money. It's the first thing they would say, and the reason for that is because of the brainwashing of the American dream. You know, it's not just the American dream, but it's the brainwashing of everything, right? So people have to pay through through the nose to become doctors and whatnot, and they're like, I don't understand. But do they really want to be doctors? Do they really want to be mechanics? Do they really want to be, how many people in the world actually want to be these things? Really, really want it, and they can't afford it. Is that fair? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, right? How come teachers just can't teach for the sake of they just want to teach? They like the idea of educating other people. Why can't they do that? It doesn't really make any sense. If you lived in a resource based economy, your options are you can do whatever you want. My dad used to ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And at the time, I was really into art, and I told him I wanted to be an artist. And he told me there's no money in that, right? Or I wanted to be an actor or whatever, right? And he just says, it's risky and whatever, and there's no money in that, right? And I was thinking, why? I don't understand. I mean, that's what I would want to do. I mean, why do I have to pick something that's more stable? It's because that's what they think. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense, right? It's just, it doesn't make any sense, you know? And people should be whatever they want to be. You know, that's the bottom line. They should just be whatever they want to be, but they can't. People have to look inside themselves, and they have to see. They have to. You have to unite. The people of the world have to unite. You know, and they have to understand what it is to be human and have individual choices. And the world is it is really gone you know to shit. It really is. And you know even me, like as a person, just giving a review like this. And by the way, you can't just give a review on YouTube. If you're going to give a review on YouTube, you got to do it in a way where you're not stepping on anybody's toes. I mean, you can't. Like, I know that the zeitgeist one, they talked about the religion. Well, religion is a very touchy subject. I was raised Catholic. I have my own beliefs, but I was raised Roman Catholic. But you have to be very sensitive for a lot of these things, and you have to look at things that are in a lot more different perspectives. You can't say whatever someone says is wrong. Like, for instance, you can believe that the beginning of the earth was created by God. You can believe that. You can believe that we were evolved by monkeys. You can believe that. The way I see it is that every theory is right and wrong. You know, the word perfection doesn't exist in my brain because nothing is perfect, and nothing, and if nothing, if everything is perfect, then nothing is perfect. It's really like what it means. So the people's personal beliefs, is their own beliefs. So you can't just watch a review or watch a movie and then come out with all the negative, aspects of something, like saying, oh, the Venus Project, yeah, we're gonna have machines control everything. You have to look at it from a positive perspective. The way the world is, the way the world thinks, you know, is wrong. For people to be skeptics, it's because of past experiences that make them that way. You know what I mean? Or to shun someone's idea just because, it sounds weird and bizarre, to you. It doesn't make sense. The point is that they're trying to make a difference. They're trying to, use dramatic examples to open your eyes. To open your eyes and make you realize that there is something wrong in this world, you know. And for someone like me to go on go on YouTube and just show people that that the way you're supposed to approach something like this, and if people like what I have to say, and if they have negative comments too, I'm fine with it. But everyone's afraid to do something, to make a move, you know, and it makes um, and it makes sense for where we are today. To me, the only thing you should be afraid of in this world is death, and that's a choice. I mean, people shouldn't, because it's the only natural thing in the world that we could possibly be afraid of, right? But like I was saying, it's a choice, right? But why we have all this fear, it's because of the media, the action movies, all this stuff, and it's depicting you know the the idea of what we're supposed to be afraid of, that we're supposed to protect ourselves, of patriotism and all that stuff. You know, liquidate the borders of all the countries in the world and try to live in a certain manner. You can go to a criminal on the street, and if you ask them, eh, you know, if I'm saying, I'm not saying that it's not a that it's an actual criminal. I'm saying if you were to ask an actual criminal that's been proven guilty and all that stuff, you know what they would do differently. What do you think they would do if money didn't exist? If money actually essentially didn't exist, you know what would you be fighting for? What would you do differently?